look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold, and just like the old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How bold is your soul? I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, and when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. 'Cause even the stars, they burn. Some even come to the earth, and we've got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't want to be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. And in the end, you are my friend. And yes, we did intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without our world caving in. I had to learn what I got and what I'm not and who I am. And I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, still looking up. I won't give up on us. God knows I'm tough enough, and we've got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up.
Sitting comfortably into your seat, gently closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in, rolling your shoulders back and down, letting them relax, breathing out air. Let your breath trickle down below, moving through your heart. Allow the cool air to blow through, calming your mind. Being present now with your being in your heart. Gauge with your breath Notice any imbalances present within. Maybe the weight of your body, your being, is tilted on one side or one part more than the rest of you. Notice how you breathe different in that place of excess. Be present there. What does that part of you need right now? Give back its peace to itself. Releasing all the excess stress present. Your natural loving of it and cooling breath of peace restores it back into its perfect balance. There is a deep relief there. Your being's perfect balance is always present with you. You can always come back to what brings it peace at any given moment. Let your day be of your own peace. Breathing, gathering yourself, centered within at your base. Breathe back up into your heart, back to the base of your head, into your third eye, the space between your eyebrows. Breathing out into the world in your aliveness. You may now gently open your eyes.
Hello, Church of Union. My name is Christine, and I will be doing the card reading for today's Sunday service. I am using the Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell. So let's get started with our first card for this reading, which is the Great Gathering. It's all coming together, intuitive hints, and soul tribe. So the first thing I notice about this card is how the purple color is very dominant here in its different shades. And purple traditionally is connected to spirituality, your intuition, and this is a great encouragement for you to listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, because this is where your divine guidance comes from. That's where you are most connected with God. And if you're ever wondering, like, what are my next steps? What am I doing? What should I do next? Then it's great to just connect with your intuition there and connect with your heart and ask God. Going directly to God is extremely important because that's how you cultivate this relationship with Him. You can't really not do it directly. That's not going to help you cultivate a real meaningful relationship. And this real meaningful relationship with God is the foundation of your spiritual journey, pretty much. And also the Great Gathering, like Soul Tribe, the other words that stand out. is that it's so important if you are on an ascension path, which I assume you are if you're watching this, is to surround yourself with supportive and like-minded people who are going to help you ascend and really understand what it is you're doing, and they're going to see the importance of what you're doing. If you're not surrounded by supportive people who share your core values, you might not really feel heard in your everyday life because you're thinking, hey, I'm doing this very important thing. I'm awakening. I'm discovering what life is really about. But the people around me, they're not very supportive. They don't really understand why it's so important. They might be a bit dismissive of it. And that's why I believe the Church of Union is so important, because we have this kind of community here, this support. And we are all from very different backgrounds, and we come together so beautifully for the purpose of ascension and awakening the planet. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. Second card for today's reading is to share your voice. Beautiful. We see a lot of water, which is feelings, connecting to your feelings and your emotions. So the card says, come out of the cave, persecution and expression. So we have some persecution energy left in this card, and this is your invitation to release it. And also release any self-judgment, second-guessing yourself, because what you have to share and what you desire to share with your world is extremely important. And there's a message in every single one of us that longs to be expressed. And we're the best person for the job. Nobody else can do this but you. So it's extremely important that you don't dishonor this part of your divinity, and that you express yourself. And don't worry about it coming across as embarrassing or, not perfect, because you don't have to be flawless. Just you expressing yourself is enough, because you are enough no matter where you are right now on your spiritual journey. It doesn't matter if you just found out about spirituality yesterday, or if you've been on this journey for lifetimes upon lifetimes. It doesn't matter, because you are enough right now, and what you have to share, it is important and it's beautiful. So this card is reminding you to honor the message that you have in your heart and to share yourself. And don't be afraid to express yourself in whatever way that might look like for you. Because expression doesn't only have to do with words, it could be through art. Maybe you like painting and that's how you express yourself best. Maybe you love fashion and that's how you express yourself. Or maybe that's how you desire to express yourself, or you're afraid of, not doing it very well because you just started out with art. But again, the message of this card is to just do it anyway. Don't be afraid to express yourself, and don't worry about the result, and also don't be attached to the result and how other people receive it. Because when you express yourself, God receives it, and that's what's the most important thing. And our final card is the Warrior Woman. Beautiful. Have you answered your deepest calling? So this card applies to you no matter the gender you identify as. Even though it says Warrior Woman, it's the energy that we're going through, and it's all about being brave and answering our deepest calling. When it comes to the journey of your life purpose, it might feel daunting sometimes, because you might have already started at a career and then you might feel like you need to switch to something completely different. For some people, that looks like going back to college when they're 45, 50, and they might feel very daunted at the prospect of starting their life all over again. But what this card is here to remind you is that it's important that you answer the call and let God handle the rest. You're not doing this alone. The spiritual journey is not a solitary undertaking. We spoke about this in the first card also. Having a community is very important, but also leaning on the support you find in God. Because if you have a calling in your heart, if you have a purpose, then that means that you're the person for the job. It means that no one else was designed to bring this to completion better than you are. So you're perfect for this. Even though it might not seem like it at first, and you might feel very discouraged or even afraid, because that can also be scary. discovering your life purpose, and it can bring up a lot of feelings, especially if you had a very specific image of who you were before you started your spiritual journey. Discovering that your life purpose is something very different, it might really crumble that self image. But it's totally safe to let go of that self image and to embrace your true, authentic, divine self. And also, the more I look at this card, the more I think about the word obstacles, and it doesn't look like she cares about obstacles at all. She's very much prepared to face those obstacles and keep moving forward no matter what those are. And this is also a message for you that no matter what the obstacles appears to be on your spiritual journey, you have God's support, you have the support of your spiritual community. You don't need to be afraid, you just need to keep moving forward and allow God to make the way for you. So, this was our reading for today's Sunday service. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the Sunday service.
Hello everyone, I'm Neelam. Welcome to today's Sunday service. I take the privilege to invite our minister Fabian today to present today's sermon. The topic of the sermon revolves around balance, balancing life, balancing our spiritual life. All about balance is discussed in this sermon. How the balance is created, how do we become aware when we are getting imbalanced, what happens when we have a balanced life, and what happens when we are not able to balance our life, and what should we do. All of that in this profound piece by Fabian is going to be so helpful to all of us. Because when I heard the sermon, it kind of struck a chord inside of me that there were these places in my life which I like to call the junctions in my life where I lost balance. And I realized that today that was a loss of balance or inability to create balance in that span of my life uh, that really brought me all the grief, all the suffering, which is not real, of course, which is an illusion, which I understood when I walked this path with the teachings of Union. I realized that there were these junctions, like I said, in my life where I did not have the right balance in my life, and a few of them, uh, are fresh in my memories. One being the time when I was a mother of my twin daughters. They were very small, and I was having a not so happy kind of a life because I was expecting some things in my life to turn in a way which a young girl wants a married life to be, but we did not make a good couple, and I had this unhappy kind of a marriage, what we label as, and I was trying to work my way through and trying to make it a happy marriage, struggling with all that, and then the financial blocks that I had. I wasn't manifesting the money in my life. It was a fresh start after my graduation, and we were both beginning our venture together. As I remember that I was trying to cope up with all of that, making my marriage work, being careful that the society doesn't get to know that I have a wrecked marriage, masking myself every day, pretensions, and all of that I was doing at that time, and trying to struggle with my financial challenges as well with my two young daughters, young girls who were just like 1.5 and 2 years old, and I found everything very overwhelming because there was so much of caretaking that was required of my daughters, and there was so much going on in my life that I didn't know what to do. And I thought to get back to work, get ready and go back to work and earn the money that I needed to take care of my children, my home, and to feel safe. I needed to do something to keep myself going, and I got into addictions. Yeah, I got into a lot of addictions of different kinds, alcohol being one of them. And I thought that this is a good coping mechanism because it kind of numbed me out from all the problems. It kind of numbed me out from the problems, misery, what I believed were misery, because I didn't know how to deal with them. and all of that was happening. So there was such an imbalance. I was financially growing, as in money was coming in, the stability was coming in. We made a new house and we did stuff of that kind, but then there was this escape route through addictions. And so there were these aspects of my life that were not being taken care of, which was one, my health, two, my mental state, which was of course imbalanced at that time. And it led me into a place where I realized I've become very obese, and the next thing I do is start going to the gym. I start working out and I start getting aggressive, that I need to get that that chiseled body. I need to get that six pack abs. Like I told in my previous sermon, that there was this passion inside of me to be in the limelight and to be noticeable, because obesity did not get me. Because when I became obese, I realized that I'm not making heads turn, and that was scaring me. And with the wrecked marriage, and with the addictions overwhelming me, I thought this was a way to get what I needed. And then there was this physical aspect which I was nurturing, and then I was missing on to again the other aspects. So there was this one aspect or two aspects which I was running after and missing on to the other aspects. So yeah, this led me again to that rat race of being in the limelight. And then I achieved it all. I got those six packs, I got famous in the city, I got a very good job in the gym. As a manager, I was like applauded for my work and for my personality at all times, and that gave me a high. But then spiritually, I was not growing anywhere. I didn't know how to deal with my inside story. And that is again another imbalance that happened in my life, which I call as an imbalanced junction of my life. Then again, yes, there was this third aspect of mine where I was again out of, the I don't want to work out anymore. It's too much. It's too overwhelming. I'm going to just travel. And I kept traveling and traveling and trying to run away from reality in another way again. First addictions, then into bodybuilding, and then this. I started becoming a traveler, and I like to be called a traveler. Like, yeah, but it was a way to escape the real life, escape the real challenges. And again, there was an imbalance, because now I was again running from one city to another. Being called the traveler gave me a high again. And not being facing the problems, not meeting my husband, not meeting the family, was a way to kind of postpone what I needed to heal. And again, there was an imbalance till I found the teachings of union, where knew that I need to take responsibility. I understood that I'm manifesting all of this, and I took responsibility. And with the help of all the practice over here and the volunteering work over here, I moved through my blocks, and I feel as a much more balanced person today. Physically reasonably fit person, happy person, in charge of my life, know how to set my boundaries, all of that. All of the abundance I attracted the moment I chose to correctly balance my life in the physical, mental, emotional, financial, all aspects. And I'm working my way through every single day. And this sermon is so profound. It kind of makes me feel like, oh yes, this is it. This is what I need to keep doing. If at every step, what I need to keep doing is keep trying to keep balancing myself. And I love the way the sermon has been has been given to us. It is giving us all the tips on how one can get back onto the balancing track by becoming aware. And I love it. I love it. And I think every one of you all will love this sermon, because irrespective of which stage of life we are all working on the balance. We are all trying to put, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that to make it even better. And it does get better, of course. And we all are doing that. And yeah, I'm sure you all are going to enjoy the sermon. And I'm sure you all are going to have great takeaways also. Yeah, and I invite you now to visit unionism.org, show your love over there, teach there, and donate so that we can spread the teachings of union all over the world, because they're beautiful teachings. I'll meet you at the end of the sermon. See you around.
Hello and welcome everyone to today's Sunday service. My name is Fabian. I am a unionist and what we're going to talk about today is balance. Balance in your foundation and on your spiritual journey. What happens when you do have balance and what happens when you don't? It's really an ascension engine for your life that can propel you forward and lead to that what you would like to experience. It can lead to the fulfillment of your desires in various areas. Now, to begin, let us go into the opening Oms and the opening prayer. Please follow along in your heart or out loud. I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I always remain. My mind is my sanctuary where I keep His holy creation sacred. I will only allow in His voice. I will only accept His word. Today, I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to His teachings through His divine channel. I will honor what He has spoken and accept it as His will. I will be obedient to His word, for this is my salvation. In Christ's name, Om, Amen. So, welcome back to our sermon for today. And as I already shared, this is about balance and increasing the balance in your life for your benefit and the benefit of all. Now, I have been on my own journey, my spiritual journey, my twin flame journey for a few years, and this topic has definitely been one of the most important topics and just areas for me to focus on. And it is something that is really critical to have balance in your foundation, because when you do, then you will experience a whole lot of positive results from it, such as you have a really good energy, you feel driven and motivated, you're just in a good place in your life, and there's nothing to worry about because everything is in balance, everything is in check, in tune, right? Now, on the flip side, if life is not so much in balance, well, that really has negative results. And well, when you have, for example, an issue with your finances, then it might, carry over into different areas of your life. Like when you have this really big issue and you maybe in your finances and you go out with friends, maybe you don't feel good about it because well, if I buy this drink or I order this steak, I can't really afford it. It doesn't really feel good to spend this money, and then I'm limited in my ability to have fun with my friends. Of course, I could go out and do something that doesn't involve money and still have fun, but there would still be this voice in the background that says, hey, have fun. However, there's still something to address here in your foundation. And this is, something that obviously can be fixed and healed, and then balance can be restored. But it is really true in my experience that when there is an issue with just one important pillar or area in your life, then this would carry over into all areas. And what will also happen, though, is that when you're really balanced in a specific area in your life, then you have this one mastered and you can carry over that mastery into all areas, right? So it also happens the other way around. And this is something that I have been recently moving through, actually, where, yeah, I was not in balance. And how was I not in balance is that I was not taking care of myself enough. And I was overly focused on working. And I think I am not the only person on the planet with this experience. And I hope that I can share my lesson here so that, others can benefit from it or relate to it as well. And of course, there's also an insight and a solution to it. I was overly focused on working, and how this looked like is that I spent too many hours in the day sitting in front of my desk working on things. And while, yes, it was amazing work and it is joyous work, because I didn't take care of important matters, I couldn't really sustainably deliver good quality. And I could not sustainably enjoy all of my tasks because I wasn't balanced. I was beginning to run on empty. And this showed in how I felt about my work, and then work became less and less fun. And then, that's not enjoyable, I guess. And, no one wants to work and not enjoy it. And how this happened was that I followed basically a thread where I was focused on what other people thought about me, and I placed the opinion of other people, how I perceived it, above how I thought of myself. And in a way, when you get work done, when you do it well, you feel good about it, you get good feedback. And that is nice to get good feedback. It is rewarding, and you are driven to get even more of that positive feedback by working more and working more. And when you take care of yourself, no one will be there to compliment you, right? When you fill out a balance sheet for your finances of what you spent that day and how much money came in that day, there will be probably no one to applaud you for it, right? And when you have 3 healthy meals that day that you prepared, and ideally, even it's a divine dish meal, and all 3 of them are divine dish meals, that's amazing. And when you share about that, then maybe someone will give you a thumbs up for it. But my point here is that you want to do these things for yourself because they feel good, because they are the right thing to do, and because they fill you up. And you want to be that person that applauds you for it, that is there for you, that is rooting for you, that is you being your own cheerleader, so to speak. Yeah. And this is something that I was lacking, leading to feeling stressed and stretched thin. And well, there was an easy lesson to it. So, and the easy insight, the easy solution is to focus on me and love me and nurture me and get the priorities straight, right? The correct order of priorities is God first, then you, then your twin flame, and then everyone else, and your life's purpose. So how does that translate? So how do you create balance in your life? There are several pathways to God, and the twin flame Ascension journey being the latest one, the fastest one, that really is new and fresh because you can have it all here. You can have heaven on earth, which is new, which is amazing. So what is no longer needed is for you to isolate and meditate and, basically let go of the material world necessarily, unless that's your chosen path. Choosing the twin flame ascension path leads to balance and abundance in all areas, including the material, the physical. Yeah? So we have a body to take care of, which needs proper self-care, proper, sleep, proper rest. Like I said, healthy meals every day. And there are so many more needs to fulfill, like emotional needs, social needs, financial needs, right? And spiritual needs as well, like studying the teaching, doing the inner healing work, going out and, breathing fresh air and walking the dog and listening to music and giving that good friend of yours a call or sending them a really cool meme that you found that day, and then going home and preparing a nice meal and yeah, really enjoying life and the richness of life and having all of that in balance, which is ultimately so enriching. And then doing these special things and planning this trip and this vacation, and then traveling to Michigan to the the Twin Flames Universe Spiritual Life Summit, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal, as all life events have been, and they are still pretty rare. So if you would like to experience 4 days of transcendental love and memories that will last a lifetime, I highly recommend attending the Spiritual Life Summit that will be happening in June this year. And from that place of balance, you will notice, and I am beginning to notice this more and more in my own life, is that energy is restoring, that energy is coming back and returning, and there's life returning. And from that place, there's also joy returning. And there's an overflow taking place. And that overflow is the best feeling. And that overflow that you can share, right? Without balance, without proper self-care, when you work, you give from an empty cup, which doesn't feel good. But if you do take care of everything in your foundation, you overflow, and that overflow you can invest into your work. And now, when you give that overflow and you love completely, you will receive all of that back multiplied. And that is the beauty of the life purpose mechanic, if you will, that when you love completely, you will also receive that love back multiplied. And when you love other people completely, there will also be other people loving you completely. And when you find these people that love you, really, invest into these relationships. And how do you unlock all of that is by taking care of your vibration, taking care of your foundation, and having a balanced lifestyle, which is really pretty much all one thing ultimately. When you do, you have an ascension engine, right? It's like the routine of your life, and that reminds me of a quote, is polish the routine of your life until it shines. And this is really it. And this will be a lifelong undertaking and probably an pretty much eternal undertaking to get better and better at this and to get better at energy management every day. And as you cultivate that beautiful prana more and more, you will also want to look into having proper boundaries, right? What do I do with this energy? Where do I invest it? Where do I place my attention on? In which kind of relationships do I invest in? And how are these relationships treating me? Really evaluating that and re-evaluating these relationships from time to time could be a great idea. And then understanding that, oh yeah, maybe it makes sense to place a boundary here and there and to really honor and respect that sacred life force energy that I have been cultivating through all of these foundational things of, chopping wood and carrying water every day. And it reminds me of a video that Shaleia recently shared on social media that talked about overthinking, right? When you are overthinking, you're not feeling enough. And how do we get into a place of overthinking is understanding how our body works, that, well, we are designed in such a way that we respond to physical stressors, right? We are looking for dangers, for threats. Is there some kind of predator, some dangerous animal in the jungle that I need to be running from into safety, right? And when we don't have that going on, which is probably the case for most of us at this time and age, then that system, that stress system within our body is going to look in other places for that. So when we don't find physical stressors, we look for psychological stressors, and then that overthinking begins, and there is maybe a tendency of worrying or kind of like thinking about unnecessary things. How do you get out of it is ultimately simple and easy. It's in exercising, right? Because when you exercise, your body is kind of being tricked into thinking that, oh man, I just escaped a threat. I just ran away from that predator and now I'm back at safety and now I can relax and chill out, right? And then you unlock more brain power, more executive functioning, because your body signals to your brain that you are safe. Understanding these things about your body and your foundation really helps with balance, and then the mastery of handling life, really, of living life deepens, right? And you can't ignore that important aspect of your life, if you want to have that joy, if you want to, deepen that harmonious twin flame union, or go deeper in your life purpose and experience that incredible relationship with God on an even deeper level, well, then it requires deeper roots. And in my understanding, really, that foundation is at the center of that. And God will always direct you uh, rightly and correctly to look into the area in your life that needs your attention now. And when you tend to that area in your life, then God will let you know, okay, now we go over here into this corner of the garden and water this plant. And then we go over there and we're gonna, repair something there. And then we're gonna nurture the other plant. And then step by step, you create that beautiful, beautiful garden, and it will expand and grow, and others can enjoy it as well. And that, in a nutshell, is what I wanted to share with you today, is what will happen when you respect the balance in your life. I invite you to really focus on that this week, and let us conclude today's Sunday service with the closing prayer and the closing oath. Please follow along in your heart or out loud. Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor your will in my life and will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me into your heart where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere and your teaching is in all things. God, I know you provide me clarity in this teaching of union that I may be forever in union with you. I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word and will share your teaching with him in any way you ask and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name, Om, Amen. Speaking this prayer in your heart means you have accepted that you are on the path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teachings of union with God wherever you find them and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator. Thank you so much for watching, and Namaste.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the sermon. This was such a profound piece by Fabian. I'm sure you all had great takeaways. I like the way Fabian discusses his own experience in this sermon and tells us how he felt the imbalance in his life when he was working a lot, when he was overdoing with his work, and he realized that he was missing out on a lot of things, and that was not a good place to be. That was not feeling good to him. He wasn't feeling any more motivated to work also. It all reflected in his life as an imbalance. And I like the way he tells us through his experiences how it can be useless to do anything that is in excess. For example, like he tells us about how much he worked and he wouldn't find anybody to applaud it because the social part, the friend circle was missing to applaud it. And it makes no sense. Like, doing anything in excess and missing out on the other happiness of life. And yeah, it's all about balancing. And I like the few takeaways from the sermon, which are: one, that how balancing your life can keep you motivated to do more and more better in your life. Two, that balancing will only attract the abundance in your life. It will only get the good things in your life one by one. That's the key. And I also like it that, balancing your life in one aspect uh, is going to balance your life in other aspects. It's all interconnected. And I like these takeaways. I really, really found them very profound, and noted them in my diary also. So yeah, and I also like the way he puts this quote. Fabian puts this quote in the sermon that uh, polish till your the roots of your life till they shine. Yeah, polish the roots of your life till they keep shining, like they start shining. So it's about every day doing your job of balancing, getting up, doing your balancing, taking care of your balance. And he gives beautiful tips on how you can balance your life, which are: one, self love, keep loving yourself, keep doing the things that bring you joy, that make you happy. uh, Two is setting your boundaries, which is so, so important, that your life stays balanced. Who you want to give how much of energy and your time? What do you want to give energy and time in your life? This all creates the right balance. And three is prioritizing your things properly, making sure your priorities are in line, in a proper order, and you know what you need to prioritize, so that you don't go haywire and the imbalance doesn't come in. And I like all these tips that Fabian gives about balancing yourself in your journey of life. Also, he reminds us in this sermon to remember the order that's taught to us over here with the teachings of union, that is, first God, then your own self, then your twin flame, then the other people, and your life purpose. So remembering that order is something, Fabian tells us, is something that can bring in balance also. It is something that can help you balance your life. When you follow that order, you are following God. You're following God, as in you're following the good feeling, the loving feeling in your heart, and God will always guide you towards something that's going to only bring balance to your life. It cannot be imbalanced when you're with God and when you're present with yourself and loving yourself. Yeah, I invite you now to visit unionism.org. Not only would you get to watch the previous sermons there, you can show your love over there and be a part of this community, donate over there, because it really matters. It really matters. Making this heaven on earth is for all of us. We all can be a part of it. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch the previous sermons there. And also, you can watch the after tea time discussions, which are done by Unionists over there, who are discussing all the sermon topics which have already been posted, so that we get more insights into those topics. And everybody gives their perspectives in those sermons. In case you want to be an active part of those sermons, you can do so also. You can comment, you can like, and you can also actively be a part of the entire after tea time discussion uh, by joining our Facebook group. And yeah, and actually contributing through your own thoughts and your own inputs over there. So I wish you all a beautiful week ahead. And I loved being a part of this entire Sunday service. I hope you all enjoyed too. God bless you. Take care. Namaste.